Yeah, what's going on, folks? Fugazi TV, Mono Black checking in. And today's topic is about immigration and the truth about immigration. Now, this one hits close to home. You know, if you haven't been living underneath a rock, you've been knowing for the last 3 or 4 weeks about the situation at the border with Haitian migrants. And before then, we still had problems at the border. I guess now more issues more than ever with the new incoming administration who's been in the office for about what 6, 7 months now. They have a problem, right? And I'm here to tell you the truth about what they're really asking you and what the true nature of the problem is, right? Let's start with why people migrate. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but, I'm fairly good at logic. And I understand that people leave to go to other places because of opportunity, better treatment, the grass is greener on that side. I'm pretty sure that's probably 95% of the reason why people leave. And you have to ask yourself, well, what are these people willing to do, or what kind of conditions are they willing to go through to get to a place? That really tells you how desperate they are, right? Now, I was watching a little documentary, and I believe, between the border of Colombia and Panama, you have to go through a jungle. Now, this doesn't pertain to, Mexicans or other Central Americans that on the northern side of Panama, just mainly goes for, migrants that are, coming from Colombia or other parts of the world that are flying to Colombia and making that 2 weeks, what it is, a month-long journey to get to the borders of the United States. I mean, they're going through a jungle. I mean, there's snakes, there's militia that's in the area. I mean, they have to track through this jungle, and it takes them seven days to get through it. I was listening to some of the people that are getting paid to get the people through that path. They've had people die, infants, kids. People get sick, bit by snakes, captured by militia folks, and that's what people are willing to go through to get here. That's what they're willing to do to get here. And they want what you have. You have the opportunity. You have you have the opportunity. You have everything that they want. You have a lot of people that's here. They complain about the lack of opportunity. They talk about, inequality, equity, the system, oppression. And people are, smuggling themselves, or traveling by boatloads of people, risking drowning to get to the land of opportunity. So, that is kind of ironic. How could people that are, they're risking their lives for a better opportunity to get somewhere, well, to America, and then people in America are saying America is crappy, but won't leave. They won't leave. They won't go anywhere else. I'm pretty sure other people migrate, because they want to probably go to where their parents are from. They probably want to get away from the life of America, meaning you have to work, you have to have some kind of plan or doing something. Pretty much, they want it easier. They want it easier, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this country allowed you to amass all you can to get to greener pastures, to go to a place where you can stretch your dollar and make it more. Instead of being a millionaire here, you feel like a millionaire somewhere else, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I applaud that. I may do that, and I think I will do that. So I'm not opposed to that, right? Now let me tell you the truth about immigration. Like, the places that these people are coming from are not great places, and I hate to inform you is that these places won't get better. These places will stay the same. They don't know how to govern themselves, or they're too far in it. They're too far into misery to get back out. They can't get out. There's too much corruption. There's not a lot of people that are willing to bleed or die to bring stability. Fleeing a country just basically means you don't see no saving this. Abandon ship. Jump. Get out. It's not worth it anymore. Right? And I'm pretty sure the majority of people there feels that way. And I'm sure there's probably a few heads that are rich on these places, that have a lot of power, that manipulate the police or gangs and stuff like that, to stay in power and enjoy whatever riches they have on that country. These things won't change. You look at Haiti. I'm a Haitian, and I love Haiti, but I hate what they've done to it. I mean, it's being ran by gangs. I mean, there's no stability, there's no structure, there's no foresight, there's nobody coming up with plans saying, hey, this is what we're going to do with tourism, we're going to do this. And even the people here, the Haitians that have gotten to America and, became citizens or here as residents, they don't have a plan for Haiti on how to get it back on track. Look at these other places. Mexico will probably be the same forever. The cartels will be, running that place for a long time until but something major changes, like we start implanting our minds into machines or stuff like that. It's not going to change. It's going to stay the same. A lot of the places in Central America, they're going to stay the same. South America, they're not changing. So pretty much, you're going to have an endless line of immigrants for now, until America becomes a place where people don't want to go to or migrate to or risk their lives to get to. That's why I have to tell you, this is what they're asking you. They're asking you to take an endless amount of immigrants. They're telling you to shoulder this, to be responsible for this, to work and pay and blah blah blah. They'll tell you, well, they just want to come and work. Yeah, that's fine. They come and work. But let's say they get hurt. A lot of people don't understand that things get done with money. The government really isn't supposed to be printing money like that. It's supposed to be getting money from the citizens and then paying whatever programs or whatever things they have to pay with the taxpayers' money to cover, everything for everyone, like the roads, things that people use. So that's why you have a deficit. That means the money that the government is putting out is not what you're bringing in. If you put out $2 and only bring in a dollar, you have a deficit of $1. And a lot of people realize that, hey, it's the government. They could make the money. They don't realize that one day, something has to give. You can't keep spending more than you have. I mean, you have to look at it at a macro level. Like, if I, the consumer, buys and buys and buys and buys and buys off credit, and then I buy too much, I can't pay, what happens? My credit score goes down. People don't want to give me any more money. They won't lend it to me because now my history says that I can't pay or I pay late. So it's not a good idea to give this person money. And you can't be mad at someone that doesn't want to give you money. You have a history of not paying back. So one day something has to give. And there's only two options. And smart, we're smarter than this, guys. You got to realize there's only two options to this. It's either A, you have open borders and you let any and everyone come in, or B, you close your borders and you have everybody go through a filtered system that looks at someone's background, what kind of person they were back in their old country, whether they're a rapist, a murderer, a killer, or good folks. And the majority of the immigrants are good folks, but you don't think there's no criminals in there? You don't think there's any rapists in the crowd? If somebody caught me in my country raping a little girl, what do you think I would do? If I know this place, people don't tolerate rapists, what do you think I would do? So what would you do, smart person? The country is head over, the country is upside down. There's no law, there's no rule. Dead bodies laying around for 2-3 days before someone comes and picks it up, or maybe a week. People could pull out a knife and stab you, and no one goes to prison. What do you think you would do? Would you stay there and risk having to get caught, identified, and killed, or better yet, they'll cut your head off? Or would you make your way up to America where you could start a new life around people that don't know you? You're clean. A lot of people in the States do that. They do something wrong in one state. Nobody, maybe a few people find out. They go to another state. I'm not talking about anything highly illegal here. Maybe a girl that, sleeps around. Everybody knows she sleeps around, so she leaves and go to another state. Now she's a good girl. Like, what would you do? So they're asking you to take this endless amount of people by the kindness of your heart. The kindness of your heart. You're a great person. Take more and more of these people in. Yet, they have more money than you. They have more resources than you. They have more power than you. Well, one would say, hey, man, why don't you help? Why don't you help? Why don't you let these people stay with you? I mean, you stay in a 400,000, 600,000, 800,000, estate, $1 million estate, $10 million estate, couple homes. Like, do you really need 2 homes? Like, why don't you help? Why don't you give up one of your homes and let people come in? And why don't you just take care of them until they can take care of themselves? Like, this is what they're asking. You that have less means than them, they want you to foot the bill for people you don't know just because of the kindness of your heart. And let's be honest, a lot of people are going to tell you, well, America was built off migrants. Yeah, that's true. But the timing was different. And you have to ask yourself, where were these migrants migrating from? Are they migrating from the places that they're migrating from now? Is America in the same condition it was when they were migrating here back then? America wasn't what it is today. A lot of people fail to realize that America was corrupted. I mean, way more corrupted than what it was now. I mean, certain cities were built off of corruption. Las Vegas, Miami, a lot of places in Jersey and New York. These places were built by gangs and mafia people, and drug cartels, drug bosses. And America changed its course. It became less unrighteous, I guess. So are you willing to take on rows and rows and number of people you don't know? Are you planning on, are you willing to fund this? Are you willing to support this? Because one day, with everything, I was going to say law of physics, but I don't know what it is, but law of reality, something has to give. You can't. If an elevator says, 1 million pound capacity, you could pack it up. But guys, once you start to get to 999,999, someone needs to start paying attention to figure out, hey, we're all gonna die. Yeah, we saved all these people, we packed it in, but hey, if we keep doing this, we're all gonna die. Eventually, you won't be able to support these people. Then what? Then who'll support them? Will they support us? Will they support us? Logically, I would say, people that came from other countries, okay, you let them in. You vet them, you let them in. Maybe you tax them more than you would tax somebody that was born here naturally. Or until they become citizens. If they're residents, they checked in, hey, you could come in, you could work, you're a resident. Yeah, you're going to get taxed a little bit higher, man. You're going to pay your dues until you become a citizen. That makes sense. Because eventually, and the truth is, we have a lot of people here that are not helpers. They're not helping to hold the weight. There's way more people that are becoming the weight or becoming a burden than they're helping. And eventually, too much weight and not enough helpers could be the strongest. We could be the strongest 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, whatever, 14 million, 20 million. We could be the strongest 20 million. But if that weight becomes too much, we all fall. We all crumble. And, we're crumbling, and these places are not going to fix themselves. Like, they're not. You can have an endless line of immigrants. It would be better to get them to function at a level that allows the people not to migrate there. What if they, everybody's leaving these countries? They're like, they're fleeing their countries. I mean, their populations are gonna die, like dry. Their population are gonna drop. Then you're gonna have more corruption because you don't have enough. The majority of people that wants to come here are probably good people. Then they're losing a lot of good people and keeping a lot of the trash over there. The trash is gonna make more trash, and it's gonna get worse. In this case, you have to look out for yourself. Don't worry if people call you greedy and stuff like that. Majority of people that have these kind of opinions, they're not helping. Most of them, they're not helping. Or they're helping, but they're helping with evil intentions. Like, yeah, I'll give $1 million tax write-off. Blah, blah, blah. Helps me in another way. But I'll do it. I think Keanu Reeves, he donates, over 80% of his salary. What if all these rich people, and mind you, I don't believe in this. The people that are pushing this, the politicians, the people that, the athletes, the actors that are in your face telling you, yeah, you need to give. Why they don't give 85% of their earnings to these countries? Like, again, I keep asking this, what would Jesus do? Like, would Jesus let you lead and follow? Or would Jesus lead and ask you to follow? Like, why don't they lead? You want me to put on this burden on my shoulder when I have minimal. Why don't you take this and provide? And give what you have. You donate 80 to 85% of your salary to these countries. Their lives will change. Or instead of donating, why don't you go over there and give, hire a construction company from here to go down there and build hotels, build casinos, build places, build things where, tourists will come in and love it. Go over there if you're of that nationality, go over there and build businesses, hire security, so people won't come in there and come in and slow down tourism. This is not going to change, man. This is not going to change, and unfortunately, the path that we're on with all this righteous mumbo jumbo, it has to fall. It has to crash. The simplest way I could put it: imagine if you had a 6-bedroom house. You could only and you have one for yourself. Realistically, you can only take on 5 people. Anything more than that is going to be an inconvenience. You're going to have to put them somewhere that's not a room. Your bills are going to get higher. You're going to have to foot that. That's going to be your burden to push. And imagine one of those become a helper, but the other 4 are weight. Now you had to hold the weight of 5. Now the 2 have to hold the weight of 4. Math is off. And then if you keep adding, you keep adding, you keep adding, you keep adding. You know? It's gonna be too much. When are you gonna get help? When are the people that you helped are gonna help you and tell you, you know what? You guys don't have to lift anymore. We devised a plan, or we brought in all these helpers. We made all these helpers, and now, we got these people that were weights. We got them off to be helpers now, and we're good. The more people we change from being weights to helpers, the better. The old saying goes, if you teach a man, you give a man a fish, you feed the man for one day. You teach the man how to fish, you feed the man for their entire life. And one day when you can't fish because you've taught this person to fish and they fish for their family, they'll give you a fish. But if you get hurt and you can't fish, you can no longer fish. Everybody dies because you were the lone fisher. Unless they come up with some other option. So guys, that's the truth about immigration. It's a sad situation. And multiple peoples are going to get hurt. The migrants and the citizens. But everybody's worried about the problems of the migrants. We have bigger issues here, man. The mentality of the loser. We prop the loser up. We cuddle the loser, and yet we demonize the winner. I mean, some winners are bad. I get that. I'm a capitalist. I like people making money. I love that. I'm not there yet. I'm not hella rich, but I love seeing Mayweather flaunt his money. I love people buying Benzes and stuff like that. I love that. I want to get to that. I'm not a hater. Love that. I like seeing that more than I like seeing someone begging. Why beg? Why don't you do something and not have to beg? No, we need to start changing the way we look at people we need to change the way we look at people, man. We need to build more stronger people. Instead of cuddling the weak, we need to make those weak people strong. We need to. Because once the strong become weak and you haven't replenished with more strong people, recipe for disaster. And it will be a disaster. All right, guys, this is Fogazy. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Drop a comment in the comment section. I'm just starting off this channel, man. Just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Gardening, politics, sports, all kinds of stuff. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.